Now there's timing, you see, because I was just sharpening my scissors, and I won't make that noise on air. It's not allowed because people hate it. But if you need to sharpen your scissors, it's my paper scissors. That's the thing. And let me turn that down. Yep, it's paper scissors needed sharpening. Right. Anyway, hello. How are you? I'm trying to get organised, but obviously I've been away, so so that takes time. Yeah, it's just been one of those mornings this morning. Thought I'd left all my makeup in France. Turned out once I'd turned the house upside down and had to find as much old makeup that I could cobble together that I hadn't. Yeah, that's really helpful. So that was fun. What else have we been doing today? SJ just forgot. She forgot that, you know, we work here now. So she's had one of those mornings as well. How are you? How's your Monday? Well, it's Monday, isn't it? So all these things are going to happen on a Monday. We have got all sorts of goodies for you today because Festival of Quilts were cancelled. Well, they did sort of a virtual thing, didn't they? But because it was cancelled, we thought that this week we would do quilts, possibly more quilts for you to make up for it. Now, I know that lots of you have been waiting for the panda, and we will demo him tomorrow. Okay, so he is just there to tease you, quite frankly, to tease you as to what is coming up. But Mr. Panda will be on the show tomorrow. And I've got a kit for you. This fabric is slightly different. It's all good. And then, oh, good morning, lovely to see you back. Thank you very much. Do you know what? I did have a lovely holiday. Elizabeth says the interview last week was a treat. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It was phenomenal. I mean, we're very, very lucky here at Natasha Makes to have a great relationship with Kaffe and Brandon, so that they do invite us into their home, especially during these times. It was, you know, it was an absolute privilege. And like I say, I've seen Brandon and Kaffe more than I've seen my own family over lockdown. So yeah, really, really, really special. Talking of loving the panda, says April. Oh, I know. He's a bit special, isn't he? It's not just the panda that I've got for you tomorrow, but I don't know what I've done with Desmond. Come on, Desmond, don't be shy. He was here. What have I done with Desmond? Desmond is the donkey. These are all this is a Kath Hardcastle design. And I have to say, Kath, he is stunning, absolutely stunning. And thank you, Kath, so much for my portrait of Arthur as well. Studio dog who passed away just before I went on holiday. Still missing him a lot. Where is Desmond though? Ah, here he is. So we will have the panda and we will have Desmond on the show. Now my mum's going to love that because I've got my mum's donkeys here with me at the moment, Gert and Daisy. So that could be one for you, Mum. So we will have those on the show tomorrow. We can't do everything all in a show all at once. And then Wednesday, I'm just waiting to hear back from Jane because Wednesday would be our brand new block of the month. I know the fabric is still on its way, but we can talk about the pattern and also what Jane has designed for us. So what Jane is going to do each month is create kind of a mini quilt for you to quilt along with, or just to have a go with. Put all of those things that all those skills that you've honed over the months with her into practice. So this is the latest one. I think it's a bit gorgeous, really gorgeous. And this was really inspired by the Carnaby Street fabric. Jane was looking around after the last show. She went, oh, I know. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's have a look at who's with us this morning. Don't know why I had to sing that, but it's all good. Who do we have? We've got Debbie, we've got Linda, we've got Elizabeth. Good morning. We've got Jennifer, we've got Helen, we've got Jackie. Good morning. We've got Claire, we've got Petra and Karen. Hello. And Julia as well. Hello. And Helen and Val, good morning to you. And Susan, good morning. And Janet, hello. And Sil as well, good morning. Sil, was it your daughter's anniversary? Oh my goodness, Sil has the most beautiful daughter you've ever seen in your life. Stunning. Jackie, hello. Yes, I'm back. And Kath as well. Hello, Kath. He's here. But we'll do him tomorrow. Just teasing today. Kaz says, morning. Hope you had a lovely holiday. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Eliza Jane said, welcome back. We missed you. Oh, thank you. But I did leave you in Cave's capable hands, to be fair. And yes, thank you, Helen. It was absolutely lovely. And thank you, Heather. And morning, Laurie. Good morning. And Debbie, hello. And Debbie says, yeah, watched your cave video. It was really great. I hope you are refreshed after your holiday. Yes. And thank you ever so much, everybody, for bearing with us, because obviously orders will be a little bit delayed. Inga and I are going to blitz them today and tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm not at Hochanda this month. I've taken a month off from being at Hochanda, so hopefully we'll get everything on track. We'll get into our warehouse. Everything that we've been saving up to do and haven't had time to do will get done, which is super exciting. Plus a few other things that we've got up our sleeves, which I can't tell you yet. Oh, Karen's doing her accounts. Oh, not happy. Oh. There are accountants that do that sort of thing. Beverly, good morning. Oh, lovely and sunny on the east coast of Fife. Fabulous. Good morning, Laurie. Good morning. Hello. Annie says, the interview was brilliant as always. Natasha, you and Kate really rub one another so well. Rub off one another. Can't even speak. Can't talk, can't speak, can't find anything. It's all good. Do you know what? Yeah, Cave he's a 1 in a million kind of a guy, and I absolutely adore him. Absolutely adore him. What can I say? He's just fabulous, and Brandon as well. It was it's been a really unlooked for friendship, actually, that one, and which is just fab. Just really delightful. Right, can't find the bunny behind me. This bunny is in a bundle. We're going to play with this bunny because there are lots of ways to play with the bunny. So we'll find out. We'll have a little think about how in a minute. Talking of Cafe, whilst we were talking of Cafe, this is the interview book. This is the interview book and all my notes, and oh my goodness, the prep and everything that goes into it is immense and so worth it. To see his face when I pull something out the bag, he's like, I've forgotten that. Is just great. But if you haven't got your book yet, what I am doing for you today, the books have arrived, just waiting for the there we go. This is my one, not my one. My one's signed. But just look at these. Also, can you let me know? So obviously you'll get your books very, very soon. And when you get them, can you let me know which of the quilts you would like stocking? Okay. And then I will stock them for you so that you can make Cave's quilts. Okay. So maybe I want to make this one. I really want to make that one. And I also really want to make that one as well. So I want to make the framed log cabin, and I want to make this one, which is the geometric snowballs. So they will be on my list. This is a bit stunning though as well, isn't it? So what we've done for you today, because don't forget you've got all the instructions in the back. So not only is it a fabulous coffee table book, but it also, in the back, for each of those beautiful, beautiful quilts, you then get all the instructions broken down as to how to put them together. So it's beautiful, isn't it? What I'm doing today is, for those of you that haven't got the book yet, if you pop it in your basket, then I will refund you your postage. So I will refund you $3.99 for the postage. There are other companies, and it's a bit naughty, who have discounted the book. I will not discount the book because I think it is worth every single penny. Absolutely think it is worth every single penny, and it's brand new. But I also realise that some people might get upset, so I will refund your postage. If you pop it in your basket today, you don't have to do anything. It will automatically refund you your $3.95. But that's just if your the book is in there. Okay. And it's a beautiful book. And if you've never had one of Kaffe's books today, not only are they signed, Martina asked, has he actually signed it? What Kaffe has done, because of COVID, and you know, some people might not want him to have had the entire book in his house and whatnot, and also because of the cost of couriering all the books to his house and then back again and then back up to here and what he's done is he's signed what they call book plates. Now, book plates used to be, you'd put a book plate in your book and go, this book belongs to. I had them as a kid. I had what were they, Bramley Hedge. Do you remember Bramley Hedge with the rabbits and the hedgehogs and stuff? Bramley Hedge book plates for my books when I was little. But instead of it saying this book belongs to Natasha, basically Kaffe's done his thing all over it. So each of those books sent out, I've only got a certain number that will be signed, but they will be signed. They will have Kaffe's signature in them and they will be sent out to you. Now, the other thing that I was talking to you about the other day was these. And they finally raised. You might be saying, what are you doing, Natasha? Right, so didn't want to say too much about these because I wasn't sure if I'd actually managed to secure them. But I know a lot of you are making face masks. So how cute is this? This is... keep calm and so on. This has got... it's plastic, but what it's got within the plastic is silver. Now, this is an argument that I've had with the doorman at Hochanda throughout lockdown, is that they have antibacterial stuff as soon as you come in. I'm like, antibacterial really isn't going to do as much as the silver hand spray that I have and that I use around the studio. Now, silver, and that's what is impregnated in this, is antiviral, antiviral. That's the thing. Antiviral, antibacterial. It's what they use in operating theatres to wipe down. And I mean, I take colloidal silver every day, and I have done for years, which is, I think, partly why I don't get very ill very often. Fingers crossed, touch wood. So these have got that. So they are marketing these as antibacterial face mask holders. So you've got the pink one, and this was all I could get hold of. This was the last of their stock. They've been so ridiculously popular. And that is your Keep Calm and Quilt On. So you can keep that in your bag or whatever, and that will then have your face mask in, or keep it in the car. But it's antibacterial, and it says, here we go, what does it say about them? I was just trying to look on it. So yeah, it's got AG plus silver. Well, AG is the chemical symbol for silver, isn't it? Ion PP plastic, that's what it is. So antimicrobial, easy to clean, reusable, and for adult face masks. They are on the website. That's all I've got. That's all I could get hold of, and they've sold out. They went like you wouldn't believe. Like that. So if you want one, grab one, treat yourself. What I thought, actually, you know, the little pouches that we made the other day, the folding pouches, it'd be lovely to put one of those in there. But yeah, pink or blue. I've only got 10 of each, that's all I could get. So pop those in your basket, check it out. Right, so if you want to get ahead, these fabrics are all cut ready to post. The final quilt will be a bit bigger than this, but Jane only realised she needed a little bit of extra once I'd gone on holiday, so I couldn't get it to her, and she made this while I was on holiday. So this is the Star Tile quilt. Isn't it a stunner? Absolute stunner. And this is designed by Jane Alcock. The fabric is, well, we've got some of the gorgeous batiks in there, but then you've also got, this is the Pat Bravo Carnaby Street. And I'll hang that up in a minute. But that is one version of it. And if you want to get that, then you will get, as your bundle, 1.5 meters of this fabric here. Now, it's not that you need 1.5 meters of this beautiful fabric, but that is what you're getting. And the reason that you're getting it, because that whole quilt works because of the fussy cutting that Jane has done. And then when we looked at it, we looked at the orange and the yellows and the pinks, and then we're going to send you a 1/2 meter of each of those to go with it. So it's 3 meters of fabric as a bundle for you, in order for you to make the quilt. Now the finished size, I don't know actually. I don't know what the finished size is, but it'll be a bit bigger than this. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And here's the thing. The reason that we came up with this is that I know a lot of you bought the kitty cornered creative grid template, and that's how these are made. So each one of those is made using that ruler. Okay, so I don't want to just sell you stuff and then leave you to have to design your own quilts. So here's the thing. If you have the kitty cornered ruler, then these are the full instructions for you to make this quilt. You might have fabric of your own. You need 1.5 meters of the patterned so that you can fussy cut. You actually only need 1/4 of one of these, and then 1/2 meter of the yellow, 1/2 meter of the orange, and you only need 1/4 of that one, but I've put in 1/2 meter anyway, because then you can decide if you want to do the strip, the binding and the sashing, if you want to do that in the pink or the orange. That is then your call. So if you've got this Creative Goods ruler, and we did demo it the other day just before I went on holiday, so if you want this ruler, that's on the website. If you love the quilt and you go, oh, but actually my budget doesn't stretch to a ruler and instructions and fabric, that's absolutely fine. There's a template in here that you can use so that you don't have to have. This makes it super easy. This gives you a different way of doing it, which I think is foundation paper pieced. I think. Hang on. Yeah. So, but we'll give you all the links so that you can do that, and you can copy it, and you'll be fine from there. But if you don't want to foundation paper piece it, that is your way to go. And if you've already got that and you're looking for a project, then you can either buy just the instructions by themselves, or the fabric and the instructions, or fabric, instructions and ruler, and Jane will just show us how to do that, hopefully on Wednesday, or yeah, that is my hope. That is one colorway. But then, and again, I'm limited in number with these. This is the same designer from the same range. This arrived. And I tell you why this is what I was doing this morning, going, hang on a minute, hang on. Because part of me thought that you could probably use a strip of that for these bits. If you eked and tweaked it a little bit, I'm pretty sure that you could use some of those strips if you were clever about it. And I thought that would be super gorgeous. And then the fabrics to go with this. So you get 1.5 meters of this one. And again, this is from Carnaby Street collection. This is a Pat Bravo one. Whee! Bit of fun, isn't it? So I wanted to highlight this. So again, gone in with an orange, and this is a softer orange than the other one. There. This is the same raspberry because it's just gorgeous. So we've picked those out there. And then I was like, I kind of want a deeper version of that. So when I found this in my stash, I was super happy because look how beautifully those two fabrics work against it, and they will be your stars, but look how beautifully it works with all of that as well. So I was really happy with that combination, and then you can fussy cut these to be the tiles, and I just thought it was gorgeous. So that is your other option, or it might just be that you want a lot of this fabric and the coordinating colours, in which case go for it. But there it is. Isn't that fab? So when that is all, just to show you exactly how much that is, it's all of that. I think it's great. Makes me think of Austin Powers. Love it. Which is one of my go-to happy movies. Right. Okay. Let's fold that up there. And put that there. Now, good morning. We'll have to leave and watch later, says Barbara. That's okay. Oh, Dawn says, not often I can tune in live, making the most of my pre-op isolation. Oh my goodness, poor you. I hope it's nothing serious. Right. Now then. Have you found the bunny behind me? In this bundle, you will get the massive, great big panel. And there are lots of ways that you can use it. And what also goes with it is that. So it is a bundle, okay? And let me show you these fabrics because they're just beautiful. So to give you every sort of option, and this is from Michael Miller actually, and I just think it's gorgeous. Look at the bunnies! Look at the bunnies! Aren't they divine? And then I wanted to pick out this sort of rosy pink. So that's what I went for, was a rose pink. But also you've got quite a lovely blue in there as well. So I've also picked out a sky blue for you as well. All 100% cotton, 44 inches selvage to selvage. So then you have enough fabric, and this was really important for me. If you want to make this into 3 cushions, or if you want to make those into little bags, or if you want to make that into a big bunny cushion, then you can. And whether you want to use that to back it, then do. If you want to use a plain cotton to back it, then you can. If you want to use the blue to back it, you absolutely can. And then whether you fill it with beans or whether you fill it with stuffing or whatever you do with it, it's entirely up to you. Or you can just quilt that, and you could do some quilting around there and around. You know, that can be your panel. It does have little dotty lines around there for cutting. But again, you could use that as a guide for your quilting. It's entirely up to you. So lots of ways in which to do it. But you could get 1, 2, 3 cushions and a great big bunny cushion there if you wanted, which I think would do a nursery beautifully, absolutely beautifully, which is then why I wanted to give you the fabrics that would then allow you to do so much. And that's why this is here, because it's just a slightly, it's this sort of tone there, and it's picked in there and in the sky. And I thought you could then back fabrics or make a little bag or do whatever you wanted with it. So we're going to have a play with that panel today. So I know I said it's all about quilting, so you can do that as quilts. We've got lots of quilts on the show, but it's also enabling you, providing you with the fabrics to enable you to quilt. Other gorgeousness. There's so much gorgeousness on the show today. Look at this. I don't know if you can see that, so I'm going to put this on a little sneaky close up. This is from Studio E. It's called SeaWorld, and it's by Lorella Vinci rather. How beautiful is that? And all those little details. If you've got little ones that love all things seaside, and believe you me, I've got those little ones because they've just spent the last week in a pool. That was the great thing about lockdown. There was absolutely no demand to go anywhere other than the villa. So that was it. So I didn't bother posting lots of photos of all the amazing places that we went, because we went to the villa, stayed there. That was it. Then came home again. Oh no, we had one day where we kayaked down the Dordogne, which was beautiful and out in the open. So we felt safe to do that. But isn't that beautiful? And then you see, to go with it, because you know, you've always got to find stuff. How gorgeous is that? How beautiful is that? I'm going to try and drape artistically, so it could all go horribly wrong. So this is a bundle of 1/2 metre of each of these, because I thought they were a bit gorgeous. And they are from Studio E. And yeah, you know, Studio E does know how to charge on fabrics, but it also meant that I got to play with complimentary bundles, because goodness me, if ever you needed a salt batik to go with any kind of fabric, it's now. So this was the bundle which pulled all those colours and just looks gorgeous. Just looks gorgeous with it. So that's what we've done for you there, to give you an idea. Hang on, I'll pop this up in a minute. When I take the bunny down, I'll pop that up. So I'm always torn. I don't want to always prescribe what you should do with fabrics, which is why I like to provide you with bundles. So that, I mean, isn't that just gorgeous? Let me just pop that on to there and just ding, ding, ding. Yeah, so you can see, can't you, all these colours here. And that was why we went with those, because look how beautifully they go. Yeah, they do. Or you might just want these because they're a gorgeous bundle of colour. It's, again, up to you entirely. Right, so let's see what other gorgeous fabrics I've got for you today. Again, limited on numbers of these. One last one to show you, and then we'll crack on. Look, 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 look. So again, this is your complimentary bundle, and you've got some deep sort of grey blues in there, and then some nice neutrals in there. So it's a really handy one to have, but it's to go with these. And aren't they gorgeous? Now this again is Michael Miller. But a bit of a different feel, isn't it? Isn't that just gorgeous? Now I've gone for basically 2 meters of fabric. So 1 meter of this. Isn't it beautiful? So that you'd get the full pattern repeat in. That was really important for me, and a usable one as well. So you get 1 meter of that, and it's got a beautiful painty effect to it. And honestly, the batiks just love them. They just work so beautifully. So let me just show you very quickly. He's having a whale of a time. And you've got the whole alphabet in animals. Isn't it gorgeous? I don't like Mr. Fox. He ate one of my chickens the night we got home. Not happy with him. But he's got babies to feed. Hippos, you've got jellyfish. It's for jellyfish. Lion. I just think it's really beautiful. So you get a metre of that as well. And then if you want fabrics that go so beautifully with it, then obviously there is, so a metre of that. And then if you wanted to really treat yourself, then there are all of those complementary fabrics there. There we go. So that is our offering for you today. Although, Ems, I have to say, or SJ, if you're watching, can you just take the stock down by 1 of this? We overcut. We always try to overcut. We're a little bit generous, but it did mean on this that we didn't have the last half metre, wasn't a full half metre. So can you just take the stock down by 1, please, there? I would always rather be a little bit generous than not, if you know what I mean. Right, let me pop those to that side. I forgot to say when we came to air. Sneak peeks of stuff. This will not be in a tub, it'll be in a bottle. But if I just tell you, it smells amazing. And we all know what else smells amazing that we sell on the show, which is, I don't know what we've done with the box of it. Which is, of course, our Seams hand cream. Well, lovely Karen from Seams has only gone and produced a beautiful smelling, smells the same as pretty much as the hand cream, antibacterial little pots. Well, they'll come as little. And she sent me a sample, and I have to tell you, it's a pleasure to put on because it smells so good. This will be coming soon, like in the next few weeks, coming soon. And I'm really excited. It feels really nice on your skin. That's the first one I've tried that feels really nice on your skin. So watch this space here, because we'll have this. Well, we've got some of the Seams cream. If you want a hand cream because you've been using stuff that isn't as nice as this and your hands are dry, get yourself some Seams hand cream. That arrived today, so I was like, oh yes, can't wait, can't wait. Keep getting wafts of it, it's lovely. Right, so let's have a little rejig around, shall we? And we're all right. Let me just check you're all right. Check there are no questions. Good morning, 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 good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Any questions? Alison, the bee and the hexagon quilt lady. Love the rulers. Yeah, you got the hexagon one, didn't you? You made a gorgeous quilt out of that. Morning, this is my last Monday morning with you as I finally go back to work, says Linda. Off since the 9th of March as I had my hip replaced. Only 52, we'll miss this. Linda, no, we'll miss you too. And Emma's given Carol the link to the bunny bundle. The bunny bundle. Brilliant bright sunshine in East Devon. It's pretty lovely here, actually, to be fair. I just know it was nearly 40 degrees some days. It was a bit hot. Elizabeth says, some bunny loves you. Oh, she bought that, had that on a Christmas mug for our other half. Naomi is just excited for the panda quilts. Tomorrow, Naomi. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. And Syl says, thank you, Natasha. She looked absolutely stunning on her wedding day. None of us could keep our eyes off her. This is Syl, whose daughter's just had her wedding anniversary. Is it her first wedding anniversary? She looked like a model. I mean, no, actually better than a model. She just looked, yeah, I just like, wow, wow, wow. Right, let's take this down and have a play with this. Dink, 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 dink. Let's put this up so that you can enjoy Jane's gorgeous handiwork here. Bink, 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 bink. Lovely. It's all about the quilt, isn't it? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Right, let's have a little look at this then. So when you have something like this, you have lots and lots of options. Of course. What would I do? And I really did have to think about this because you've got some gorgeous detailing up in the corner here as well. So if you want to use it as one big panel and just have it as a floor mat and quilt it, do that. Absolutely do that. You've got little ducks down the bottom. You've got all sorts of detailing on here. And you've got a little bee, you've got daffodils, real springtime flowers in there, and a mouse. Let me show you. So I don't think any of this is going to be thrown away. Because, and this is like just the little aside that's down the bottom that would otherwise go as scrap. So if you want to use the whole thing as a panel and just quilt it, do it. Do it. Look at his ears. If after tomorrow's show you feel like doing some free motion, then and echoing some of that fur, and we'll show you how tomorrow, then do that. Do that. It's entirely up to you. Right, let me turn on the iron. Because what I think I'm going to do, I don't know if you can hear my children squealing with delight out there. I've been taken outside to get some fresh air. Go get some fresh air. Oh, this was why I was sharpening my my scissors. My paper scissors. Here we go. I would use some interfacing. Is the very first thing that I would do. And this is a metre by a metre piece. Quite a big one. Quite a big piece. I'm not going to need all of it. There we go. This is on the website actually. Just in case you weren't sure. And shiny side down. Don't know what they are doing outside. Can you hear them squealing? Is my mic picking it up? They are having far too much fun. It's the joy of the summer holidays, isn't it? If you can't hear kids squealing with delight, then all is not okay with the world. There we are. So I'm going to make a big cushion with this. Someone quite small has got a birthday coming up. So this actually would work beautifully for a little extra something for her. Shh, don't tell her. It's a good job she's outside, isn't it? Squealing everywhere. So all I will do is apply the heat so that it bonds. I'm not going to apply the whole thing over the whole thing because first it's a bit boring to watch, and secondly I don't really need to because I'm going to cut round there and then replace everything. But what I will do is keep all of this little detailing on there so that I can make her a little bag or something. So I think one of these, what I would have initially have thought of as being a cushion for her, I think I might have to make, or I might just make her a little bag and a fussy cut along there. This is a panel that every inch is going to get used. Absolutely it is. And the only reason that I've not sold this individually and sold it with the other fabrics is because I wanted you to have enough fabrics that went, colours that went, for you to be able to really do as much as you wanted with it. Now, if you want to use those fabrics and just sash around the outside, you can do that. You can do that. Of course you can. So you could use one to sash and bind, or just to bind, and the others to just do the backing. It's entirely up to you. You could do that. So I wanted to give you options, basically, is what I'm saying. And we are getting there. But yeah, certainly Captain Small can... how did she become 2? Nearly 2. That's just crazy, isn't it? We were laughing at her because she's got some new words. We gave her a bit of an early birthday present. She's got a scooter, so 2 new words that she's learnt whilst being on holiday is scoot. So that was what she wanted to do everywhere. Scoot, scoot. It's a bit like living with was it Jack from from Father Ted? Uncle Jack from Father Ted. Well, he just says drink, whereas she's scoot and boys. Where did that come from? Boys. So she'd just be sitting there and would just randomly shout out, boys. Okay. So yeah, that was fun. Now, right, when that is all on, let me turn that off. Then what I will be doing is using a plain fabric. So this is why I didn't put the batiks in there, because oh no, see what colour to do the backing of this? Probably this colour. Ooh. Now, gosh, I didn't realise it was that much bigger. Oh no, I'm going to have to sew a little bit together there to go over the paw. I hadn't realised. Or what if I did 2 bits? Yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to just cut this in half and sew it next, so I've got a wider piece, and that'll be absolutely fine. Let's have a little look. It's good job of all the stuff, isn't it? Oh, hang on, saying that, where is my big ruler? Don't know. Right, so it kind of doesn't matter. When I was thinking about what to do with this, there were so many options, and of course, you know, quilting it lovely, and all of that. But I also did want to think about other ways to do it, and so let me just. No, I haven't checked my sewing machine works or anything yet this morning. I just got it out the car from it being away last week. Dink, dink, dink. Oh, good. Yeah, this looks promising. Tell you what, I don't half expect a lot of these machines. Clunked around in the back of the car. And then whipped out and made to work. There we go. So what I will do, so there isn't a right or a wrong with these fabrics. I will press that though. I'm going to turn my iron off. obviously because I've been away, this arrived while I was away, so I haven't had time to really prep anything for you. So this is the full shebang. This is a start to finish demo. And oh, do you know what else you could do with those little squares? I'm just trying to think of all the things you can do with those little squares. The other thing I was just thinking is you could make little mini quilts, little tiny quilts. So Emily has now started really loving having teddy bears and dolls and things like that. And that was the other thing that she was showing. Bear everywhere. And for her, bear has two meanings. Firstly, she calls her brother Bear because we've always called Freddie Bear. I don't know why. We just always have. So when she shouts bear, it's firstly for her brother, and secondly because she has a bear that she adores and takes everywhere with her. So it was twofold. I've just sewed that right back together, haven't I, into one long... Who was shouting at the screen when I did that? I was meant to make it longer and fatter. What am I doing? Honestly. Oh, at least it means it's going to be easy to unpick. Really, still on holiday mode. Like, completely on holiday mode. Where is my stitch ripper? Well, here we go. I'll be able to give you a good demonstration of the stitch ripper. Have you got one of these yet with the rubbery tip? It's amazing. And here is for why. When you do such stupid things as I have just done, you've got two options. You can either just cut it and start again, cut it off and start again, but no. The frugal person in me does not wish to do that. Or you can just go and just be careful with these, just, you know, they have like the little red bit on here so that you can put that in first, especially with dressmaking, and it won't rip your fabric. This was another revelation. I hadn't realised just how blunt all my other seam rippers were. So, oh, why have I been putting up with that for so long? But yeah, you just put that bit in first, and it's really good. Especially if you have, you know, quite a long amount. There we go. Oh, that was quite harmless, wasn't it? But move that out of the way so you can actually see. Then, of course, you're left with those bits. And that's where this is so awesome, because this, hang on, I don't know if I can do it on here and show you. You just rub it along there and it pulls them out. So you don't have to sit there going, oh, it's so fiddly. Just rub it on there and it pulls them all out for you. It's brilliant. I really love it. Come on, you. There you go. See? Out. So you just do that the whole length of fabric and that will pull all of those little annoying bits out. Just, I mean, it just provides that little bit of extra, what have you. So if you don't have one of these yet, can you see what it's done? It just pulls them out. So yeah, there's none of those actually in there. So they will all come out. So now I'm going to actually think about what I'm doing rather than just chatting. Press that lovely fold out. Honestly, I like to think of this as a warts and all show. Certainly is, isn't it? I mean, let's face it. Do you know what though? I bet I'm not the only one that does this sort of thing. Must concentrate. Really must concentrate. Right. Here we go. Well, you know, it's just allowed me to give you a beautiful demo on this. So just pull that. Well, that's going to come off as one long anyway. So we'll do it on the other side. And it just pulls out all those little white bits so that we are good to go. Right, so let's go. Can I just check that I'm not chatting this time? Did anybody notice that I was doing it wrong? Did anybody notice? No one. Anyone? I don't know, so many lovely messages there. I'll have a good read through those later. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Right, let's give this another go, shall we? Apologies. But, you know, there we go. These things happen. And this is how we put them right. Obviously, you would be working in a thread that blends with your fabric, but I've gone for white so that you can see. There we are. Woo. Just had another moment there where I was like, oh, am I doing this the right way? My machine there saying, I know I do go fast, but I don't really want to go that fast today. Well, here we go. Right. Let's just check I've done this the right way around now. Oh, I do feel silly. Right, here we go. I hope I've done that right now. Right, okay. So let's just press the top of that. Here we go. Right, so as we were, it's just the day we're having, isn't it? Alrighty. Let's set him out now. There we go. It's a little bit tight. You would probably want to just take a little bit off and add it onto there. Or you could patchwork the back. That might be quite nice as well, to patchwork the back. What I'm going to do is take dink, dink, dink. Hang on, I just sharpened these, didn't I? Oh, they're not quite fabric scissors. What have I done with my fabric scissors? Anyone know? I can't use those, they're still not sharp until, oh, there we go, there's a pair. So you could patchwork this. You have enough fabric to patchwork the back of this if you wanted. What I'm going to do is simply sew that onto there and flip it across, because I'm making a backing for this, and you know, I could buy a whole metre of fabric to accommodate that, or I can do this, which is cheaper, and it's not going to look the end of the world. It's going to be absolutely fine. And if you have got those 3 fabrics, then what I would suggest, if you want to do something like this, is that you you make a feature of it, do them in strips or something like that. See, I didn't really think about it, because normally have I just sewn that on the wrong way? I have, haven't I? I'm really not having my mind is not on this, is it, today? Yeah, I needed to sew it the other way. This is getting a good outing today, isn't it? You can all just shout at me this morning. It's just one of those days. Just one of those days, like when I thought I'd left all of my makeup in France, so I had to rummage around And then it turns out that actually just hadn't been brought in from the car. We all have one of those days. Do share stories of one of those days underneath, so that I feel that I'm not quite so alone this morning in my I'm having one of those days. In fact, I already know that SJ is having one of those days when she messaged us this morning going, I was all set up at home ready to go and then realised I don't work from home anymore. So I'm just doing this to make you feel better, SJ. That's all. That's all. For those of you that don't know, SJ looks after our customer services. So if ever you have a question about your order, it will be SJ that will answer it. Should we do this again? There we go. That like that. That opens out. Yes, that's the way. Do check which way you're doing stuff. Am I about to? Yeah. It's so easily done, especially when fabric doesn't have a particular right or wrong way. It's really easy to do. And if you haven't done it, then, well, it's like they say with riders, isn't it? You're only a rider when you've fallen off. Is it 7 times or something like that? I was a rider very early on. Yeah, if you haven't sewn a seam on the wrong way, you're not trying hard enough. Oh, righty-ho. We will get there this morning, I promise. Gosh, good job I'm not doing a quilt, isn't it? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Be here all day. Gosh. Where's my little stitchy thing? I'm loving this. Giving this a good outing today. There we go. Say it is so much easier to get all your bits out that way. Oh, that didn't sound quite right, did it? Get your bits out. I know I've got on holiday, but don't worry, I'm not going to get my bits out. Right, let's try this again, shall we? Who knows what's going to happen now? I think we'll just leave that open. For anyone. Who knows? Who knows? There we go. So basically, what I've done, apart from make a complete mess, is to cover the whole of the bunny. And that's what I'm trying to do here, is to cover the whole of the bunny. Now, I've got 2 options now. Actually, no, I've only got 1 option, and that is to flip this now and pop this so that when we sew this, obviously it will go right sides together. I'm going to pop this underneath the bunny like so, and then if you've got your pattern weights, you can put your pattern weights on. But because this isn't something that you can excuse me, that you can just it's not going to be just a square that you cut. That's why we're having the fun. Remember, we're having fun, everybody. We're having fun. Just to remind everybody, we're having fun. What I will just do is just pin here and there. Pin his ears. Ah, soz bunny. Soz bunny. Yeah. And I just want to check. Yeah. So I guess I could rough cut round the bunny first and then cut again. But I hate doing things twice. She says, having to sew everything twice today. Yeah. When I can avoid it, I really don't like to sew things twice. So what I'm going to do instead is just check. Oh, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. Yeah, I've got all of that underneath covered. You probably have much neater ways of doing all of this, and that's absolutely fine. you use those. Now, what I'm hoping, I'm going to use their lines, okay? And I'm going to start from here. And I'm going to use their line. And this is going to give me there we go. Move that out of the way. Round we go. So I'm concentrating now. And you can see, so all of that beautiful fabric there will be saved. There we go. So all those little bits, they are not going to get wasted at all. Let's fold that neatly. And that's why when I started cutting, I cut in there. If you've got your electric scissors, now would be a great time to whiz those out. But yeah, so I am going to cut around here. Put that pin back in. I should have put the pin in within the seam allowance, shouldn't I? That would have made more sense. I'm not worried now. Planned all sorts of demos this morning. Who knows if any will go right, eh? Who knows? But it's just lovely to have your company. But look at this border. Isn't that beautiful? And I will keep that. So I don't know how many of you have bought panels or anything like that and thought, what am I going to do with it? What now? Looks lovely. Now what do I do? Well, this is one of those things. I kept one of these panels back because I thought it was so gorgeous and I know that Emily will love it. So I just wanted to give other people some ideas as to what to do. And because I've sort of rough pinned it in place as we go round, here we are. Dee, 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 dee. Now, my question to you lot, because I know that you'll know, I saw on a rescue site the other day a rabbit that needed a new home, and it said on there that he'd make a lovely house pet. Now, I had rabbits as a kid, and my concern would always be, how do they not chew through your wires? And they're like, oh, and he's all litter trained. And I thought, how do they not? I don't know. Maybe you guys can answer that for me, because I don't know. Okay, so then we will do this right sides together before you all go, oh, Natasha. So there's my bunny top bit. Are they gorgeous? I mean, you could just applique that onto a very big piece of fabric and then applique other bits. You could do that. Yes, you could. But I wanted to make a big stuffed bunny cushion. Here we are. So that's going to go along there. That's going to go along there. Now, I don't know about you, if you have children, and I know a lot of you do, or grandchildren. They don't keep clean. They just don't. And I don't know why. I don't know why they can't keep clean, but can't. So there are two ways of doing this. You can either just sew around, stuff it, and sew up the gap. Absolutely fine. Or if you want to put a zip in, then you can. And that is what we're going to look at today, is putting in a zip. And kind of where would be best to do that as well, to not make it too obvious. So I'm just going to pin all the way around here. Oh, Hazel was shouting but didn't hear you. Sorry, Hazel. Sorry, didn't hear you. What are you uploading, Ems? What did you miss? Don't know. Who knows? She's uploading something. So since I've been away, Emma, who works incredibly hard for, actually everybody works really, really hard who works at Natasha Makes, has moved all the way back from Switzerland. She's come home. Yay! Which is lovely for me. Yeah, so she was having one of those mornings as well this morning. She's like, I don't know that I remember how to use my computer. She does. It's fine. So yeah, everything was a little bit last minute this morning because obviously Emma hasn't been there. Josh hasn't been very well last week, poor Josh. But I have to say, if he was going to have a week to not be well, it was the one that I wasn't here that was best. Right, so we are pinned all the way around. Obviously, the rabbit is a bit of a funny shape. No offence, but it's not your normal cushiony shape, is it? I think that is fair to say. And you could put in a really tiny zip just there, but it depends what you want to do. And the only reason that I've gone for a longer zip here is because I might put beans in here and make it into a bean bag. I might just do that. In which case it said beans would need to come out for washing. And also what I would tend to do with beans is put them in, you can get like this meshy stuff, which would sort of go up into all the corners. And I would probably stuff the ears, stuff the extremities, and then put in a main body, like a bag with the beans in the main body, but stuff the extremities. It's probably what I will do with this. But if you've ever put beans in, you know they're very difficult to get out. So that's why I've gone for a long zip, and this is a long zip. This is a 17-inch zip. Okay. I could put it along the bottom. Put it along there, like so. I can do that. I basically want to go for anywhere that is as flat as I can get it. So I'll probably do it along the back. So yeah, my options are, if I put in just a little discreet one, if I was just going to stuff him, then I would just do a little one along the bottom there, and that would be fine. And the same kind of thing sort of applies in terms of how to do it, basically. It's just that I'm going to have a slightly longer zip here. So I'm going to go for as flat as I can, which is sort of round his back there. Okay. And all I'm going to do right now, because I don't want it to be really obvious where it is do a little marker at the beginning and a little marker towards the end there. And what this shows me is that when I do my stitching, I am going to really, really elongate my stitches from there to there. And then we'll see how discreet we can make this zip. Okay, so I will start from that point and come round to that point. So that's going to be my starting point. And I'm going to put it on the longest stitch length that I have. Yes, I am. Right, foot down. Let's just lock that stitch. And then there you go, beep, beep, beep. That is the longest stitch length. Now, I am sure there are lots of ways to do this. This is mine. So if you have another way, please feel free to share. And if it's a better way than this, definitely share it. But this is just my way. So I will come around. At that mark, I'm going to lock that stitch off, and then I'm going to return it to its normal stitch length and go around the rest of the rabbit, of said rabbit. Okay, so bear with me while I say whiz. Got to take a little bit of care, haven't you, around here? Now, if you wanted to have a wider seam allowance, let me move that out of the way, it's really annoying. If you wanted to have a wider seam allowance, and I think also the extension table is probably still in the back of my car, then I would cut a little bit further away from the rabbit. So they've given you kind of a line to stitch to. But if you want to make your seam allowance wider, then just do. This is where I'm very grateful. I don't know if you can hear. Every time I put I take my foot off and the foot comes up. I don't know if you can hear. Just check out. Ooh, I will go around that back of the top of the rabbit's ears at some point. This machine, this particular machine, and I am on the Beast today. What this one does is every time I take my foot off, it lifts that, but also drops the feed dogs as well, so that actually nothing is going to catch. So I can lift my foot off and no fabric will catch. It's one of those little things that I didn't know was going to be so useful until I had it and it was useful. Oh. Here we go, over there. Because we are now going through that little extra bit that I had to add on. But there are lots of curves on this, so it is really handy to have. What I will do, because obviously this fabric was cut, both layers were cut at the same time, and it looks like one layer is shifted ever so slightly. And again, you know, these things can happen if you're not paying entirely 100% attention, you know, if you're trying to chat at the same time. But what I will do is go back around and double check. So like here, the stitching is really tight on there, so I will just come back in and go round there when we've finished. Because there's nothing, I don't know if you've ever done it, there's nothing worse than sewing around something and just missing that seam on the other side. If you've been in a bit of a hurry or whatever. Is it less haste, more speed? Or less speed, more haste? I don't know. I never remember which one it is. Coming around these corners. Trying to make them smooth as well, that's the other thing. And not too jaggedy. Nearly there, folks. Like I say, I only just came off holiday yesterday, so haven't had, and this wasn't here before I went, so there wasn't a lot of time to prep it all. Hence why you're having to watch me sew a lot of bunny, and some of it quite badly. It was really strange, actually, I have to say, not being on my phone. Plus, I couldn't really because the kids had used up all of my data on the drive down, keeping themselves nice and quiet. They were amazing. It was a 14-hour drive because we didn't fly because didn't really want to go on public transport, so we drove. There we go. Back to where we started. And like I say, I will now just go around and double check. Let's take all these pins out. We don't need those there anymore. And just double check from the other side that everywhere has cut nicely. Now, what I would also probably do is from the other side as well, just go around and just pink. So I know I've got to go in a little bit up there, so let me just do that. And it's just a case of I'm going to pick up at a point where it's a nice width away. But on these tips, I will just go round and just with pinking shears, just trim a little bit back. And into these little corners, snip down. Not through the stitching, up to the stitching, but never through to the stitching. This is a little bit like when we make the Tilda toys, just taking away any kind of bulk that's there. And all these things are just really transferable skills. You know, you learn it from doing one thing, you go, oh yeah, no, that's should really be doing that. So on the curves, you can. Now there's another way to take out the lumpy bits and just trim everything back, which I saw the other day, which was, because no, but when you have to take off bits, why not? And I don't know why I didn't think about it before. Just fold it and cut it like that. It's like, oh, yeah. Why haven't I done that before? That's your other way of doing it. Again, I've gone quite close in with that bunny bit there. How are we doing around there? A little bit close there. So if you do need to, at any point, what I would say is go back in. Don't be afraid to go back in. If there's a bit that you think, oh, I've gone a little bit too close, but just do a holding stitch first. Or, of course, you know, just pay more attention in the first place. And just come round. And that's only happened because my back piece slipped a little bit. And then just on this ear, all I would do, Because there's nothing worse than, like I say, making something and then realising that actually, especially like Emily's going to be 2, this is going to get some loving. So I would rather go back in and reinforce any weak areas now. There we are. And then I know that I'm going to be all good. There we go. Anyway, so you do that all the way around. The next bit, or where there are curves anyway, but on this bunny, pretty much all the way around. I marked this bit here, and what I'm going to do, where I started and finished, I will open up that seam and I will press that. Oh no, I should have done this bit first. Oh no, I've done it all wrong. I've done it all wrong this morning. I should have sewn all the way around. I should have sewn one side. Oh, please ignore me this morning. My mind is not here. But basically what you will want to do is line up your zip over where you've done those long stitches, and you'll pop that face down. I'm going to, what am I going to do? How can I make this right without having to unpick pretty much everything? I don't think I can, to be honest. It's just one of those mornings, you'll have to excuse me. We've had a lot going on. And you can hand stitch this if you want, or you can machine stitch it, but you will be unpicking where you've done that, and that will go on there, and you will, let me show you this. Press back your seam. Now, if you're doing this on a normal cushion, so like when I've done this before, I've done it on square cushions, and you would do this bit first before you do the rest of it, and that's what's thrown me this morning. I'm not thinking the full thing out. There we are. It's a lot of unpicking on today's show, isn't it? Save all that sewing bit first, okay? And then you will line up, and this is my new favourite thing, is to baste with this. Might be able to salvage this, you never know. So this is your sew line glue pen, okay? And this is one way to basically hide your stitches. So I'm going to put the edge of that just beyond where we will unpick those stitches. And this is just going to hold it in place. I've used before all sorts of different things. Where's my refiller? Yeah. Got to remember now. Easy to refill. Hold the fluted grip and turn the panel base. There we go. Pull that out. If you haven't ever refilled, there we go. Pop that in there, and I think, yeah, just twist it back in. There we are. That is my, well, at least I can refill a glue pen this morning, right? And those will go in the plastic recycle. later. So glue basting your zip, brilliant, 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 brilliant. There we go. And I will do that. Do you know what? I will possibly, there we go. And then I will stitch along there. Do I want to put my zipper foot on? You can do. You can do. I'm going to pin that starting point there. But let's just go for it, because I'm going to... This is why you should always prep your shows thoroughly. So within that seam allowance, I'm just going to sew the end of that zip in. Along there. If you want to use a zipper foot, then you can. Now normally I wouldn't have to be this careful, but I'm going to have to do my unpicking midway because I'm a bit of a prat today. But I'm just going to sew this in along that seam allowance. And the centre of the zip should be over the seam line. Okay. Don't know if I'm going to manage to pull this off without having to unpick everything, but we will give it a go. This is how not to do it, basically. So you see that is on that side there, and again just check that you've caught it. Yeah, I'll just redo that little bit there. I guess you can sew it from the top. There we are. You don't normally sew from with the zip underneath because it slips. But again, just check, especially because this is on a curve, just check that you've caught it all the way along. Okay, now, what you should be able to do, okay, and this is the whole point of this, it went a bit wrong, is obviously this wouldn't normally be sewn, but I got ahead of myself and forgot what I was doing and chatted. So you should have sewn sort of from there to there, so that you can have this open and fold it out and then sew either side. What I'm going to have to do now is what you would then do as the last step, which is that longer stitch length that you put in, you just unpick. So do you remember we did on that mark, you unpick from that mark. So I did, this is the unpicking bit that I, was going to always have to do. But what this would give you would be basically quite a concealed zip. So from that mark I started and I did like a stitch to hold everything, because of these long basting stitches were always going to come out, just not normally yet. Guess this is another way of doing it, isn't it? And then you've got one side in. Never demo anything live until you've actually had a chance to practice it. Then my team laugh at me because they think that because I generally make stuff at least once in the morning, so that's why I get up so early, but then it's fresh in my head. And I remember the guests at Sewing Quarter saying, I made this like weeks ago, I can't remember how to do it. And it's true, you kind of forget, especially like for me, if I've written a pattern a few weeks ago or followed a pattern a few weeks ago and tried to get ahead, and be organised, it just doesn't work for me. Just doesn't work for me. So what I'm going to have to do now, and it does mean, it's a bit of a shame because it means that it will show. But there's always a way to salvage things, right? Even if it is in front of a live audience. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There we go. Take those out. We're nearly there. There we are. But this is, when it's done correctly, it's a lovely way to actually hide your zips. There we go. Right. So, now what you want to do is move that zipper so that it will be there, and I'm just going to base this onto the other side, so put my glue on there. And the beauty of this glue is that, of course, it doesn't, it's lovely because it doesn't gunk up your needles. Now at that starting point there, I will reinforce that with a pin, because, you know, the glue's great, but it's not always as strong as you need it to be everywhere. And I don't know if you've noticed, but the zip with the metal bit I've put just past. Here we go. So that glue is going to hold all of that now in place. And we will stitch up to where we first held it in place, and again having to stitch from the top, because yeah, it's so slippery otherwise. I just managed to undo that. Yeah, I have, haven't I? Oh, no, don't. I've just undone you. Now I just keep pressing the wrong button. Right, let's rethread that and get going. Come on. There we are. Right. This is one of those mornings, isn't it? Here we go. You have a look at this. Come on. There we are. So, keeping that seam allowance out of the way. There we go. Okay, let's just undo that zip around there a little bit more, and I will just, because my foot slipped ever so slightly off, I'm going to just bring that needle up, just go back to where before we came off. Yeah, let me move that zip out of the way. It was just where that zip was. Again, round you come. And then just... Maybe I found a new way to do a zip. Everyone's like, yeah, this is no way to do a zip, Natasha. Yep, that is held in all those places. Oh, hello. What's going on here? Did you miss me? Is that why you're here? So anyway, now would normally be the time when from the other side you would then unpick that so that that seam would then be seamless. But Here we go. Maybe this is just how to do it with furry bits. Get there in the end. But then if I turn this through, what we should have... Actually, do you know what? That wasn't that difficult. I know it wasn't quite what I'd planned, but we'll wait and see with bated breath if it's actually going to hold together, shall we? You can use a zipper foot, but my zipper foot I realise is in the car from being on Ho Chanda and not unpacking my car quickly enough. I will be more organised tomorrow. Just you wait. Famous last words, right? So this, again, another reason as to why I reinforce the ears as we go round. Maybe it was a bit ambitious trying to come to air, having only just got home. But do you know what? We try these things, don't we? Round we come. Where's that bunny paw? There is extra in there, isn't there? The first night we got home from our holidays, Half Pint just didn't stop purring. Did you? Eh? Did you miss us? Which is strange because normally she just sleeps in the conservatory and just ignores us all. But obviously, and it wasn't like she was left unaccompanied. She had a house sitter here the whole time. Right, so when that is all stuffed, what you will have is a zip that is not too noticeable round the side. There's your ears, and I will go back in and snip round there, and then you will have a big hugging rabbit cushion. And yeah, do you know what, actually, I did think that was going to spell disaster, but it's all okay. And it's all quite discreet. And there it is. But yeah, basically, sew half, and then sew your zip in, then unpick, and then it'll be completely seamless. We'll try that another time, and then you'll push all of those cornery bits out, but by the time that is fully stuffed, that will be super cute. Just need to go in and pull all those bits out. I think Emily will love that, and I don't think she'll care about the zip. Okay, so what are we going to do with the rest of it? It's on the floor. Let's have a look, shall we? Have you just spent most of the morning just shouting at the screen going, what are you doing? Don't forget to do this. Don't forget to do that. Kind of feels like it. Right. So, what I would probably do is then, should we do a concealed zip in this one just to prove we can? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? We could, couldn't we? There we go. And we'll do it properly this time. Would probably be better, just so that it's not as complicated. With this, I'm just using the interfacing. I think, especially for little ones, the cushion, you know, if they're gonna get some use, should we just say some use, then it's always handy. Now, I think it's fair to say, if you want to save your time, and if you want to save fabric, then learning to do zips is always going to be it. And you know, look, you've got two ways of thinking of it, haven't you? You could think it's a disaster because that didn't happen how I wanted it to happen because I wasn't thinking. Or you could go, don't be afraid of zips. You can always salvage it. It's one of those things. Or you can spend your entire life just doing envelope backings, which is, again, for many years, how I got around it. For those of you that know that I do have a bit of a fear of zips, and that's, you know, that's why. But situation is, yes, I wasn't thinking and I shouldn't have sewn around all the bunny, but do I still have a cushion that I can stuff and use? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. So is it the end of the world? No. Does it mean that I have to be scared of zips? Well, no. You know, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? You don't have to be. And if you never want to insert a zip like this, then don't. But it will mean that you will always have to use a little bit more fabric. And that's the downside. And for many years, that's exactly what I've done. I've just used a little bit more fabric. But at some point, you have to overcome your fear. Lovely Alistair, House of Alistair, he used to be afraid of zips as well, which I took great delight in hearing. That sounds really mean, doesn't it? But I really did, and I don't mean that nastily. I just mean that he's such an awesome dressmaker. I was like, come on, surely you were never rubbish at zips. And he said, well, no. He said, but what he did in the end was make a jacket. HP, people can't see if you go there. Come on, off you come. What he did in the end was make a jacket that had like 50 zips in or something ridiculous, so that he was never ever scared of a zip again. Now what I'm doing here, like, a bit awkward, is just, you should always cut away from you. Now if I don't want to, this is too big to put on a rotating cutting mat, although I do now have those in stock. But the other trick is to just step to the side. So I'm cutting away from myself. I'm not cutting across myself, but I am taking a step to the side and cutting away from myself. And all I'm doing is saving myself time in having to double cut everything. I've put the backing fabric underneath, and I'm just going to cut that square out. There we go. Like so. I mean, I should probably have like stopped the show now, to be fair, and gone, I'm just going to quit whilst I'm ahead. But no, I will not be defeated. What I do now need, though, is another zip. Did not think that through now, did I? I normally have some zips kicking about somewhere. Hang on a minute. Where have all my zips gone? If you don't have the right size zip, excuse me while I just go and find myself a little zip. This will have to do. I'm sure we can do better than that. It's amazing what zips you can find, isn't it? Here we go. Right, let's go again, shall we, on the old zip front. Let's have the zip at the bottom. Okay, so again, I'm going to go right sides together. I'll do it properly this time. and mark off where your start and stop point is going to be. And we're just going to sew along that one side now. Okay, so my machine, I've done it again, haven't I? I managed to unthread it. There we go. Right. So, down that side, when I get to my start and stop point, I'm going to do a holding stitch, so that I know that that is all reinforced. And then increase your stitch length to the top, and then again that holding stitch. Oh, hang on, I'm going to cut that thread. I'm going to go back because I didn't shorten my stitch length. Let's do that holding stitch again, shorten your stitch back to where it should be. There we go. Right. I've done it again. Come on, thread it again. It hasn't done that shorter stitch. Am I running out of thread or something? You know, when you do have those days where you just think, just stop sewing now. It'll all be fine. Right, okay. There we go. Right, so long stitch length from there to there, and then press your seam open. Do you know, I was just trying to remember when I last did one of these. God, it's been a long time. Long time. So press that seam open. Like so. Now, my start and stop mark was there, and it was there. So what I'm going to do is pop that, and I don't know if you can see, where I elongated my stitch, I will place that zip over that seam line there. Okay. And then I will just, you can baste it, you can get your glue pen out. That's what I'm going to do. And just baste it down in place. It just stops everything from moving. And I had I realised how good a method this was. I don't know if I had or not. I'm going to baste one side at a time. If you want to use a slightly longer zip, so than the space that you want, and then you can start with your zip kind of up there, then that's absolutely fine. Now, what you would do is use a zip foot. Actually, do you know what? Did I keep a zip foot in here? Ha-ha! I've got one. So with this machine, it's my only criticism of it is, because you get so many feet, and I'll always give you honest feedback, because you get so many feet, it doesn't store them on here. You have a separate box for them, and I've left the box in the car. You know, because today is that day, and which is fine, but it just means that when I've left it in the car, when I want something like a zip foot, yeah, not got it. So I'm going to start with the zip further down, but with my zip foot on, I will just, there we go. Again, holding that holding stitch. There we are. And all I was doing there was that the zip wasn't tracking quite in there. Lift that up. Now, if you have that extra lip function like on this one, or just spin it around to get that zip through with that foot in place. There we are. So that's one side done. And then what I will do is I will glue base the other side as well. If you want to use a wider seam allowance, then do, but otherwise just make sure that your that the middle of your zip is the track of your zip is along the middle, so that you do have space. There we are. And just glue base that in. Now. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. That's handy, isn't it? So then you're just going to stitch that one in place. I glue basted that in enough. Hopefully I have. And then if you've started with yours, if your zip is much longer, which it should be, then you can leave it sort of below there, and then you can unstitch it. That's all stitched in, that's all stitched in. You can then unpick those long bits there and reveal your zipper, which is in there. My little zip pull, there's my zip pull there. And if you want to reinforce and sew across the top, then you can. But it just means, and I would just press that. You can then sew all the way around. But it means that you don't see that zip apart from the pull. And it's nicely hidden in there. So now I would put that right side together. You can then sew around as you normally would, and that is it. Done. Done, done, done. And that's how I should have done that one. All good fun, right? And actually what I will just do is just press that so that what you see is your seam. Nice crisp seam instead. There we go. We get there in the end, don't we? And it is very discreet. There you go. There. And that is one way. There are lots of ways. There we go. And there it is in. Ah, it's the bunnies. Right, so tomorrow, we're going to do the panda quilt. And we're just going to have a look at Kath's gorgeous ways to go one on top of the other, to do her applique, her layering applique, because she's so clever, so clever. So we're going to have a look at how we can do that. And just put this beautiful quilt together. The actual quilt, the actual patchwork bits is all sashed. We're going to focus on the applique. Your full instructions will show you how to do all of that, give you all of your cutting instructions. But we're going to focus on actually making Mr. Panda, because I know that lots and lots of you have waited for that. I will stuff these and put a photo up on Facebook so you can see what they ended up looking like. Thank you very much for bearing with me. Bit of a funny one this morning. Yeah, I will wake up, come down from my holiday, and I will be on top form tomorrow. But thank you for bearing with me. And I'm sure that you are all shouting at it. Elizabeth says, when we do it, we can walk off in a strop. Yeah, no, I've got it. Do you know what? Actually, that's part of it, isn't it? Is that it does make you just fix it, just find a fix. And sometimes that's what you had to do. And Eliza Jane said, I had a lovely French seam on one on one side of a long petticoat and a double French seam on the other. Didn't unpick as all sewn by hand. Yeah, very good, very good. I don't blame you. Would you not a zip where you join the two pieces? Well, yeah. I think you've just realised my error there. You could zip on the pink backing fabric on the seam where you joined them. These are all options, aren't they? You could. Actually, yeah, that's another way of doing it. It's funny, isn't it? You think of these things afterwards, and I see what you mean. You could always put a zip in across there. I think for me, because I hadn't measured the fabrics out, like I say, this was a show that was put together quite last minute when I came off my holiday, because this hadn't arrived then, so I only got back late last night. I'd planned to do it there. That was where I was, and I stuck with the plan. But you're right, actually. If you do, that is a far better idea, is to put the seam in along there. Yeah, would have made far more sense. Yes, you see? This is why it's kind of sewing together, isn't it? I would sew from the white side so that I can make sure I was on the outline of the bunny. Yep, again, yep. And you would also put the zips, yes. So in my head... Just to explain, I was just going to use one piece of fabric. This wasn't going to be sewn in two, but actually you are quite right. Now that has to be sewn in two, and I could have cut the zip back. Yeah, there you go. So that would have been the better bet. All things are there, aren't they? And this is it. So if I were to make this again, that's exactly what I would do. But I'm gonna stuff it anyway. I haven't got a walking foot on, and that's why it slipped. Haven't got a walking foot on. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth, we're tempted to sew around it, then cut the berry fabric away. Yeah, you could. Oh, that's another good way, isn't it, of doing it? Everyone. Jane says, hi, sweetie, what are you making? A complete mess of today's show. That's what I'm making. Look, thank you all. I'm going to go and have a nice cuppa. Yeah. Did I leave the zip open along the zip bit? Yeah, no, I didn't. I remember to do that bit. Remember that bit? It's all the other bits that went wrong. And Anne says that she won't crow until she's done hers. Yeah, absolutely. It's that, isn't it? Right, I don't know why my husband is ringing me in the middle of a show. I will speak to you all later and see what he wants. Take care. Lots of love. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.